Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Michael, and this is the Real Estate Deep Dive Forum, where we go over questions that we found online that we feel like weren't answered clearly or could be thought of in a different way. So I'm going to go over about 5 to 6 questions here today that are literally random questions that real estate investors have, and I'm going to answer it to the best of my ability to help you guys out. Houston, Texas. I decided to jump in and buy a house, and now I feel like I've backed myself into a corner. I bought a single family home with a detached apartment for $250,000. I'm living in the apartment and renting the house. I am struggling to find tenants because they are uncomfortable with the landlord living on site. The mortgage with taxes and insurance are $22.50 a month. I get $2,000 a month for rent. I would estimate my rent by itself would be $1,000. I've only owned the property for 6 months and the mortgage is killing me. I don't know if it's worth to keep or if I should sell and move on. Would love to hear some opinions for the community. Wow, so you are actually house hacking, which I think is awesome. It sounds like you're living in one unit and you have it rented out. That could be a fourplex. You didn't really say what it was. But what's cool about this, I'd probably say first, if you're going to live on site and manage it, I definitely would not say that you own the entire apartment complex. Obviously, that's going to make people very uncomfortable. What I would say is, maybe you are the hired property management for that complex, but you don't own it. And that's going to help people feel a little bit more comfortable, because then they think, okay, I have staff on site. That will take care of me while, something happens. If there's a leaky faucet or having an issue with, my doors, they get a little jammed, or, whatever maintenance that needs to be done, they can go ahead and contact you. Just don't say that you are the owner of the property or things get a little bit weird. So that'd be my recommendation, number one. I would also think, I would say hold on to the property, try this new philosophy of just saying that you're the property management, and things might get a little bit better. Let me know how that goes though. Good question. Hello, I'm in the process of buying a house near a university, and I'm debating if I should rent it as a single family home or per room. If I rent it per room, the cash flow would be $200 to $300 more than if I rent it as a whole. In your experience, is the extra money worth the hassle? I would propose it when you list it online to have it as both options. You can say rent out whole house or rent out per room, and kind of see how that goes. If you can get, in the best case scenario, you can get a bunch of people that are friends already and rent it out per room to them. And then what's cool about this, you're not going to have one person that's contracting the entire single family home. You have it rented out to each and every single student that's living there. And so you can charge more rent because you're still getting that 1 unit per room rent rate. But you have a group of people that understand each other and know each other. So that should make it a little bit easier. And for that renting model. So good question there. I just put in an offer on a duplex yesterday, which is the listing agent said the seller agreed to, but did not sign the contract. Initially, they would not allow any buyers to do a walkthrough without a signed contract in place. Our offer was to put $10K in escrow as a down payment, and they would allow 10 days for initial walkthrough and then an inspection appraisal before finalizing. Today, the selling agent countered with a 1-day inspection period. Wow. At which point I would have to make a decision and would not be allowed to access back into the house. This may not necessarily be a deal breaker, but keep in mind, I still haven't seen the inside of the whole house, the house, the pictures, and on the listing. The listing agent is also the property manager, and his reasoning was simply that he doesn't want to disturb the tenants. But the fact he insists we pay for inspection up front and we can only have access to the property for 1 day makes me feel very uneasy. I may be overthinking this, but I was hoping to get some feedback from the community. Would you be concerned? Yes, I would consider that a red flag and a huge concern beyond normal. So, I get it, they're trying to keep the tenants, have their own, private life. That is good, they're taking care of their tenants. But I think there needs to be a back and forth relationship with the buyer and the seller. I think you can dedicate days. Let's say you you get under contract. I would still fight for the 10-day negotiation phase of walking through the property, but I would set up time zones of where and when you could actually take a look at the property. So you might look at it one day, have the inspection go through it, and then you might have a couple days later at a set time for your contractors and for your inspectors and appraisal guys to go in there and take a look at it. So I wouldn't accept the one-day inspection. That seems very risky, and you're not going to capture everything in that one snapshot, and you might even have questions after that. So that's not enough time to negotiate, in my opinion. So I would negotiate back with that seller. Good question though. Hello everyone. I'm sure this has been asked before, but when I searched, I couldn't find anything. I have someone who wants to be the down payment on a property, but doesn't want anything else to do with the property and just wants the down payment paid back. How can this be set up so the bank is okay with it? This person is willing to jump through the necessary hoops, but I'll own the property and manage it. This person wants to be totally hands off. So you actually don't have to write anything with the bank in this scenario. You can just have a contract written between this essentially the lender, whoever that is, who wants to pay the down payment, and then you. So you would have a contract between each other personally, LLC to LLC, or personal name, however you guys have your businesses structured. And so what I'm imagining is that this person would give you the money for the down payment once you have the contract between each other, and you would buy the house in your title. So that would be the scenario I would recommend doing, and then the lender, the bank, would just see it purely as you being the owner and the property manager of that company. I recommend trying that out and let me know. I recently watched a video that David Green produced. He talked about how in our current environment, it's not easy to just go out and find deals. Instead, we need to make great deals. A couple of great examples are adding additional square footage or turning space into an extra bathroom. What are some other ways of taking a decent deal and turning it into a great one by doing something ones aren't likely doing? So he brought some good points up, David Green. He said, you have extra square footage. Maybe I've seen this myself, where you might have a house that's 1,700 square feet. It's a 2-bedroom, 1 bath, and then, you kind of might think 2-bedroom, 1 bath for 1,700 square feet. This means there's a huge living room or tons of dead space somewhere. So, that's a great opportunity to turn that into another bedroom, or maybe, add another closet or an additional bathroom, depending on how your plumbing works out. Another way, to make something a great deal is that a lot of people they really enjoy having a nice kitchen. So I would encourage you to spend a little more money getting a little bit nicer amenities, maybe nicer countertops in the kitchen, and that's going to be a win-win. If you're renting towards a family, typically, both sides of the party, the male and female, are going to want a nice kitchen because you spend a lot of time cooking in there. Another place I'd recommend putting good money into, if you have the extra cash, is making your bathrooms nicer. And that's going to be nice too, because people don't like to go into a bathroom that's really gross, really old-fashioned, outdated. Depending on also the level of rehab that you're doing, I'd recommend adding skylights. It's not that expensive to install a skylight, under $1,000, and that's going to bring vibrancy and natural lighting into your house. It's going to make it a lot nicer, and I think those are more of a luxury items that you can add in for cheap. And another way that's also good is I'd recommend having a nice landscape. You might have bushes around the trees in the front of the house. Those are also easy ways to do it, and that's going to help with water flow, management of the property, making sure it looks really nice. And that's going to help also with just keeping people looking at your property. If it looks bad on the outside, most people won't even consider the inside. So you're going to want to have a good taken care of property that's landscaped very nicely on the outside world. All right, guys, that's all I got for you in this video. Hopefully I did answer that question to you guys good. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions specific. You guys have been pretty quiet on this real estate forum page. I am here for you guys. I'm trying to make content that will answer your questions. Obviously these are a little more specific and not general. If you want general questions answered, go ahead, leave me a comment below. I did make a video probably in October of 2019. I talked about the top 10 common real estate questions. Check out that video if you aren't in real estate or maybe you're just getting in. I think that's a great one for you. I made those questions based off of my interactions with newer real estate investors in my area, just talking to them. They always kind of have the same basic questions, how to get lending, what do you look forward in a deal, how much money should I put down, like those type of questions. And I answer that I think pretty well in that video, so I'd recommend checking that out as well. And that's all I got for you guys. Thank you so much for watching, the Growth Mindset channel. Definitely leave me a thumbs up to let us know how we are doing, and I hope you all just have an amazing day.